Hi everyone, welcome to this ICW pre-launch session. We are very pleased to welcome you today in celebration of coaching. As you know, ICW is right around the corner. We are about to officially start it next Monday, May the 16th, and ICF Professional Coaches, represented today by Linda McLoughlin, Vice Chair of ICF Professional Coaches, is very happy to present you this session today. So let me introduce myself first. I'm Isabelle Maes. I'm part of the regional development team of the ICF Professional Coaches team. I'm based in Belgium, Brussels, the capital of Europe, so in Europe. Linda McLoughlin is the Vice Chair of the ICF Professional Coaches Board. She's an MCC award-winning international coach and mentor. She specialized in coach training, leadership development, executive education, managing change, gender intelligence, and team building. She served as a member of faculty at the Business School of the American University of Sharjah for 6 years. She's based in the Middle East, and she provides facilitation, executive education, and coaching to large states enterprises. Linda, I'm going to give the floor to you, and I'm going to be monitoring all the questions you may have in the chat. So wishing you all a very good session today.
Thank you, Isabel. Thank you for hosting the session today, and thanks for all the background work you're doing for ICW. It's going to be a great one in 2022. As you say, 700 events in, I think, did you say 20 languages? I didn't quite get that. A lot of languages.
Yes,
well
we actually
done.
have even more than 20. I think we are today at 23 and 711 events. It's actually changing pretty much every minute for now. So.
Well done. Fantastic. We're really going to showcase coaching to the world this week and next. I'd also like to acknowledge that my colleague from the ICF PC board, Manbir Kaur from India, is with us in the room. Nice to see you there, Manbir. Maybe put on your camera.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Linda. Hi, Isabel. Hi, everyone. So good to see you.
Thanks for joining in, and I hope you'll help me with the questions later on. And also good to see in the chat that we have a really global audience here. We've, let me see, there's Australia, China, Russia, Dubai, Spain, UK, The Hague, I've seen. So really international. So I think the topic today will apply very much to all of you, which is really around sharing the highlights from our most recent consumer awareness study. So I don't know if you have downloaded the study yet. It was published about 2 months ago, and it would have been sent to you in your member update. So if you haven't, I think following our session today, it would be really relevant for you to go find your free copy of the Consumer Awareness Study, because it has so many nuggets. So let me just share my screen so I can, I'm having a moment now with, here it is. Is that showing everybody?
Yes, Linda.
Isabel?
Yes,
Okay,
it's perfectly
good.
fine, Linda.
Perfect, thank you. So let's do the deep dive now into the 2022 ICF Global Consumer Awareness Study, and let's see what the insights tell us as practicing coaches. So the first thing to say is this is really a good news story, okay? So here are the top 4, I suppose, headlines from that study. And what we've done is there is so much data in this study that I've tried to pull out what I think is relevant for practicing coaches. So how can you use this data to build your business? anticipate market demand, and also know what your clients and potential clients need from you. So they will be the aspects of the study that I'm going to share with you for the next 30 minutes or so, and then we will have time for conversation and questions. But let me go back to what are the really top headlines, good news for you to know. First of all, the awareness of coaching is continuing to increase. Now, we did our first study in 2010, and it has shown consistently that that awareness is increasing. As of today, 73% of the respondents were aware. So that's 3 in 4 of the consumers said, yes, we know what coaching is, which is a huge improvement from our first study, which was about 50%. So the word is out there. The second thing is that in terms of generations, in respect of our consumers, that the millennials not only are very aware of coaching, but they expect to participate in coaching. So whether they're going to hire their own life coach, or more particularly, they expect to be coached in the workplace. They would see it as part of their contract at work to get ongoing learning and development, and coaching for a millennial is very much the norm. It would very much be part of their ongoing development in the workplace. Again, which is good news for coaches selling into organizations. Overall, the participation, so when we kind of come from, yes, there is this greater awareness of coaching, but what we have seen also is that there is also more actual participation in coaching. And right now, 1 in 3 of the consumers that we surveyed said, yes, I either have been in coaching or I currently am. Again, that is showing an upward trajectory. And finally, for all of us coaches who have credentials, who have invested in our training, who are investing in ongoing upskilling, the news is good. So among consumers, there is much greater acceptance that coaches with credentials will lead to a more satisfactory coaching experience and better impact. So that really is very reassuring for those of us who have made that investment of time and money in our skills to show ourselves to the world as professional coaches. So they're the top 4 findings, which are all very, very positive from a business development point of view and a practice development point of view. So let me go into some of the sorry, now my somehow my, oh, here, thank you. Slide is changing now. So let me just tell you a little bit about the research study itself and how it was set up. So as I mentioned to you, it is the 4th in the series. The first started back in 2010. In this current study that I'm sharing with you today, we had almost 31,000 responses, and it was done in a panel type methodology. We had our largest ever number of participating countries with over 30, I should say, which represents 90% of ICF's membership base. So that was pretty comprehensive. And this time around, we were able to include some new countries, some more of our emerging coaching countries. And it was conducted in 17 languages. So very, very global and very applicable to wherever you're sitting in the world. Here you can quickly see, if you like, check to see if your country, your place of origin is on the list of the 30 countries. What I want you to know is if your country was on that list, that you can request a slide deck with this information that is specific to your own country or region. And Isabel, if you can at some point share that link with people where they can get that customized on request slide deck, because this information is really, really valuable when we're pitching to our clients, particularly corporate clients, and to show them the value of coaching. So many of you will find your country on that list. Now, in terms of the profile of the respondents, we tried to ensure that there was a good spread. So obviously gender is more or less equal. In terms of employment status, almost 70% were employed, some were students, and some were out of work. And again, you can see in terms of the generations of the consumers that, again, a lovely spread there, which means we're looking at our oldest consumer to our newest potential consumer. And for the first time ever, we included home location. So we were trying to see, was there a difference in demand for coaching among those in large cities versus suburban areas versus rural other areas? And I'll go into that detail as we go on. Now, in terms of the questionnaire structure, it was interesting that, you know, about a third were aware of coaching and had already been in a coaching relationship. We had a bucket of people, 39%, who were aware of coaching but hadn't yet been in a coaching relationship. So those are potential clients, if you like. And then we had 26 who were unaware. So this would be the group of people we're hopefully marketing to and creating that awareness. And events like ICW are so crucial to us in getting the word out there about what coaching is and allowing people who haven't experienced the gift of coaching to experience it maybe pro bono in the next week or two. So know that it was a robust study, a very, very comprehensive and a very, very global study. So let's go in again, back into some of the findings. And the first thing to notice is that when we aggregate, yes, I'm aware of coaching, or I'm somewhat aware, that 73% of those 31,000 consumers, 73% were aware. And that has gone up from 66% back in 2017, which was our last time that we did the study. What is interesting when we drill into those figures is that the awareness is very much higher among the younger generations, you know, much, much higher. And those who live in large cities, again, tend to be more aware. And those who are employed tend to be more aware. So that gives us a profile, if you like, of our current potential and actual clients. Now, when we look into those who are not aware, what we find is that those who are unemployed and those who are students are not so aware of coaching. And when you think about that, that is a lost opportunity in a way, because often they are the very people who could benefit most from coaching. So we do have to think about how we can reach out to those who are unemployed, maybe looking to get new opportunities, or students, again, having worked in the university sector myself, students wondering where their career options are, which direction they should go, which major, which course should they choose. You can see that those who are unaware are often some of the ones who are in greatest need of our service. So let's talk about who has participated in coaching. So those who said they were aware of coaching, or the ICF, those who said they were aware, quite half almost had participated, but 52% who said they were aware of coaching hadn't actually engaged with a coach. And they were asked, would they consider participating? So over half of those, 55%, said yes, definitely, as a coachee. So there is a great untapped market out there for our services. That's really the message I'm getting. So 34% though who said, yes, I'm aware of coaching, but I haven't been in a coaching relationship, said, no, I don't think I would think about it. And why? These are the reasons that they gave here on the right-hand side, that it's either too expensive, or that they felt they didn't need it, or that they can't afford it, or that they were either too young or too old. And again, you know, I think this speaks to us about how do we convey the value of our coaching. Because I read a very good article, I found it on LinkedIn the other day, where someone said, you know, I can't afford, I just can't afford coaching. Meanwhile, they were having a big plate of sushi at the time, expensive sushi, where they felt the sushi was worth it, but somehow they didn't understand that coaching would last much longer than a meal and could have a potentially huge impact on the future direction of their life. So there's something about how we need to express the value, not just about the fee structure and the money. So what does this mean for ICF coaches? Now, why did people say they participated? So of the consumers who said, yes, we have participated in coaching, here are the reasons that they engaged. And very high up there, improving communications, increasing self-esteem and confidence, improving work-life balance, optimizing work performance, and increasing productivity were the top 5 reasons that people engaged with us. Now, I think this is very important data, because you need to look at your website, for instance. You need to look at your social media campaigns. Are you using keywords like that? Are you using keywords around build self-esteem and confidence, improve work-life balance? Because obviously that is what people search for when they're searching for a coach. Obviously, we know when they get into the coaching relationship, they may actually change those goals and maybe move in a different direction in terms of what they want from the coaching relationship. But what really draws them in are these areas. So in your business development, make sure that you are emphasizing that you can deliver on those. And I think also even in your LinkedIn profile, it is really, really great to make sure that you are using those keywords, because that's what people search for. Now, if we go to the other side, what would be the impact of coaching? Here you say those who've had a successful coaching relationship say, yes, I have improved my coaching skills. I increased my self-esteem. I improved my work-life balance, increased productivity, increased well-being. So what we see is that there was a very high correlation between what people were seeking and what impact they got at the end, which again, I think underlines the power of coaching and the effectiveness of coaching. And I would be saying to you, these are brilliant statistics to share with clients and potential clients. You know, this is what people are getting from coaching. This, and you can get these slides, you can have this data, share this hard data when you are pitching for business. Now, what you see on the left-hand side there was how satisfied people were with their coaching. And 86% were satisfied, either very or somewhat. And I think, again, that's a very high rate of satisfaction, and one we should be very, very proud of as coaches. Not satisfied at all, 1%. Very low in any consumer study. I would doubt that. I think we can be proud that it was low. And again, probably points to the value of chemistry meetings when we're engaging with clients and making sure clients understand what coaching is, so that they can get the most out of it. So high levels of satisfaction and very, very strong impacts and very tangible impacts from the coaching engagement. Now, this is another really important one I said at the beginning, because if you have looked at ICF's global study, which was published in early 2020, it said that what was the biggest barrier? Now, that study is done with coaches. The study we're talking about today is done with consumers. But in 2020, we asked coaches around the world, what do you think is the biggest barrier for coaches? And they said unqualified coaches in the marketplace. And that has been a stated barrier for really all the 27 years that ICF has been in existence. And what this consumer study shows is that actually consumers are more discerning, that they are beginning to recognize coaching as a profession, and that there are qualifications and entry requirements. And not only are they saying coaching credentials matter, they're saying that when we've used a coach with a credential and proper training, we've got better bang for our buck. We have had more impact. So this again is a very powerful slide. It's a very powerful message for you to convey to your clients. So those who experience coaching, 85% said it's either important or very important for my coach to have a credential. Did your coach hold a certification or a credential? 65% said yes. Now, in effect, that percentage could have been higher, but do people know? Ask yourself, do I make enough of my credential? Do I make sure that clients understand what percentage of coaches have credentials, what it means to have a credential, what you have to go through to earn that credential? And perhaps there is an invitation to us as coaches to bang the drum a little bit more. Would you consider coaching? From those who said, I haven't been in coaching, but yes, I would consider it. Actually, 78% of those said, and I would like, if I'm considering coaching and I'm going to get into it, 78%, I would want my coach to have a credential. Now, who pays for coaching? From this 31,000 consumers that we surveyed, 40% said they paid for them, someone else paid, and 60% paid for themselves. So what we know globally is that the biggest budgets for coaching are with corporates. So business coaching, leadership coaching, executive coaching is probably the most in-demand niches and the ones with the biggest budgets. And also, I guess, tend to be paid a better rate. The affordability in the corporates is much stronger. However, what this detail tells us is that there is still very much a niche for people who don't want to work in corporates, and there are quite a lot of coaches out there who prefer to work one-on-one, life coaching, wellness coaching, relationship coaching, even leadership and executive coaching, selling it one-to-one. And there is definitely a strong market still for that. Let's talk a little bit more about the generations. And this really is one of the most positive things to take from this study, because what we see, the gray areas up there are those who say they're not aware of coaching. And what we can see from the oldest, who just didn't know what coaching was, right up to Gen Z, who are coming into the workplace now, there's really that growing awareness and appreciation of coaching. So when we look at it, millennials are going to be the managers coming through, Gen Zs are coming into the workplace, and they're all about coaching. They're comfortable with it, they know about it, they expect it as part of their development package. This is good news for us coaches in terms of building business, but also in just getting impact generally for the profession. So there's a great openness, and perhaps it goes to the way those generations have been parented and how they have been schooled there's been tremendous social change as well. So they're used to conversations. They're used to being asked their opinion. They're not used to being told. So the whole modality of coaching, the whole philosophy of coactive and coaching is very, very comfortable for them. And equally, what we see is that the growth, again, in participation in coaching across the generations is growing in the same way as that awareness. And again, you know, the importance of credentials, important for all generations, actually. So less of a difference by generation on this subject. It seems that all generations do value the credential and certification. Now, let me say a few words about awareness by country and territory. I'm not going into the specifics. Obviously, it would be a very long call when we have 30 countries. But what I'd like you to think about is that within our 30 countries, we have two buckets of countries. The first bucket is what we would call established countries. So these are countries that do a lot of, you know, have been in the coaching game for years. So, you know, Western Europe, North America, Canada, all of those countries would be what we would call established countries. And then we would have emerging countries, and the emerging in like Thailand, Romania that we mentioned, the UAE where I am, these countries have come more recently, say within the last decade, into coaching and the ICF brand been known there. But what is interesting really is when it comes to the awareness of coaching, that whether they're emerging or established, it doesn't seem to make a huge difference. In fact, you might think that the established countries who've had coaching professionals for years and years, that the awareness would be higher, far higher there than the emerging, but not the case, as you can see on the right-hand side. And I think this is down to, and if I speak from my own experience here, I'm originally Irish, moved over here to the UAE 10 years ago. Now, in Ireland, coaching was quite well established. You know, it was part of leadership development programs. It was widely accepted by government, etc. Moved here, it was a new commodity. But let me tell you, in the 10 years that we have developed a chapter in the UAE that is even bigger than the Irish chapter, and that the growth in the demand for coaching has been huge. So sometimes in emerging markets, maybe there's more of a pioneering spirit, maybe there's fewer barriers to entry, there's more appreciation. So there also, let me just go to the next slide of the next list of countries. Whoops, let me go back. So again, you see that same pattern that, so if you can have, if you see your country on the list, do take a moment to notice the awareness in your country versus also the somewhat aware and the very aware. Now, let me move on. There are resources here. You can get study the vinyl report, and maybe Isabel, are we able to share that link, or do people need to log in as ICF members and download that? But the really important thing I want to say to you today is, if your country is one of those 30, you can request a slide deck by your country. And again, that's going to give you invaluable data to build your business, to use that with potential and existing clients, and to maybe build your brand within your own country. So I urge you to reach out and request that. It's part of your membership benefit. So with that, maybe I'll stop. Thank you for your attention. Quite a lot of information coming at you there, but I do hope it was useful to you. And maybe we'll take some questions. Let me stop sharing. So Isabel, maybe you would like to
well, thank you so much.
And moderate if there's any questions or comments.
Yes, so thank you so much, first of all, Linda, for this great presentation. I've just shared the link in the chat box a couple of times. Through this link, you actually come on the page where you can download the 2022 report, as well as request your slide deck. You'll have to log in. If you don't log in before requesting it, you'll probably have to do it when you go into the shopping cart, because you will have to buy the report. But if you're a member, it's free of charge. Okay, if you're not a member, you will have to pay for that. So Linda, yes, we have a very first question from Vari, and the question was, with the 60% pay for own coaching, is there data on the breakdown of people in corporate versus small business owners, etc.?
That's a great question, Vari, and I have to say I'm not aware that we have that data, but Isabel, perhaps you could ask Sandy Stanfield, who is our ICF head of research on this study, and she may be able to pull something on that. As far as I'm aware, it's not there. Manbir, have you come across that in your reading of the study?
Thank you, Linda, for a great presentation. And no, I am not sure about that. I don't think we have the data. But yeah, as you said, Isabel is the right person to find that out.
Yeah. But I still think I was surprised that that 60%, were paying for themselves. And for me, that's great, because they're people that are making that investment. They recognize the value of coaching.
So for now, we don't have any other questions in the chat. I mean, if you have any question, feel free to raise your hand. We can also open the mic and you can ask your question live. Or if you want to share anything, feel free to do so.
And while people are thinking of questions, I would be interested to know, how the coaches in the room believe they could use that data. What does it say to them? What is the takeaway for them?
There's a question from Christina, Linda, asking how many people paid for coaching in 2020 or earlier. I think we need to go back to the previous one, which was 2017. Much less than 40%.
I wouldn't have that figure off the top of my head. It would be worth going back if we could look at and the 2017 study is there. And because we tend to ask the same questions so that we can benchmark the trajectory.
Actually, when you go on the page of with the link I shared with you, you have not only the possibility to download the 2022 report, but you still also have access to the ones from 2017, 2014, and 2010. So we've actually done 4 studies so far. So if at some point you feel the need of making comparisons, well, you have all the data and all the reports available to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so questions start to come, Linda. So thank you. Well, let's start with Haifa. Thank you very much for the informative presentation. So kudos to you, Linda. My question is, how often does the ICW take place in a year? Well, that's a question for me, Haifa. Well, ICW is 1 year. It's just 1 week per year. Now we are celebrating coaching worldwide. It's a huge celebration. It's not something that belongs to ICF, but we are leading the path on it since 1999. So it is actually a huge celebration. And all the members, all the chapters, all coaches worldwide can participate and highlight their talents and celebrate coaching worldwide. It is a huge week where we can really raise awareness around professional coaching to potential clients, to your existing clients. It's about being proud of being coaches and being ICF members. So ICW is just once a year. Great time, 16 to 22nd this year. And we will announce at the end of this 22nd edition the dates already for 2023, so that you can all already mark it and block it in your agenda.
Yeah, and I mean, it does create a buzz. You'll notice social media next week will be on fire with ICF and coaches, because it does call us to action. I think a lot of individuals and chapters and coaching schools make a real effort, Isabel, to host something special. I know for my own coaching school leadership works, I'll be doing an alum event, bringing back people who've trained with us over the years, and just celebrating all the achievements. So I think, you know, often we have the intention to do these things, but ICF or ICW gives us that deadline. This is the week to do it. And maybe it's worth showing a link to those participating where they can find events happening all around the world next week, and they can register. Most of them are open and most of them are free.
Let me just share that link right up now in the chat. So it's icf-events.org/International Coaching Week -events. You can also find a page on a global website under the events section, and with bridges between this events platform. This events platform, you will see, is not only containing International Coaching Week, but there are also other great sections on this platform. The chapter events all year long. You know, ICW is a great opportunity to attend events, but there are some wonderful chapter events happening all year long. So we also now have this place where you can find them all. So no matter where you are located, you may, you know, ICF is a big family, so nothing prevents you to start participating to chapter events, you know, with this hybrid, and you know, since the COVID, everything pretty much happens online. So you've got great opportunities as well to connect with other communities and other chapters. And there are also 2 other great sections on this platform that can help you as well. Sharing knowledge with your clients on your social. You know, on social, it's really about having the algorithms play for you so that people see what you're posting. So we also have 2 sections, one with podcasts and one with articles. Not only you as a member, and especially credential members, you can contribute to these articles and podcasts, but you can also listen to them, read the articles, and also share them easily on social. So this is actually free content about ICF, high-level coaching content that you can share with your clients or on social. Yeah, you know, just to have like ready-to-use content and to make your social living, so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel all the time. So really put this platform into your favorites, bookmark it, because it really is a wonderful place where you can find lots of things for yourself or for your clients. I think we have another question for you, Linda. Okay, well, it's actually an answer from Vari. So she's going to take your advice, Linda, and review the keywords on the website. She works with clients on career confidence. Great to see self-confidence up there for reasons for coaching and on impact. So it's not really a question, it's more of feedback. So thank you so much, Vari, for that.
Thanks, Vari. And maybe Manbir, in terms of India and awareness, consumer awareness, what are your views on the ground in India?
Very interesting. So I started coaching in 2011, actually. So in end of 2010 and start of 2011. So that time, everyone thought that a coach means a football coach, a basketball coach, or a cricket coach. So nobody knew that coach is something like what we do. So I think we have in Indian market, and I can say about Asia also, actually, because I have clients in Asia and Europe. So in Asian market, we have come a long way. Linda. You will agree with me, So what we knew in 2011 about coaching and where we are in 22, it's entirely different, I think. And I saw India is at 68% of awareness of coaching. And I think that's absolutely where we are. We have a lot of awareness. At the same time, I would say that, we have lots of way to go forward. We have a lot of things to catch up. And Linda said it earlier, but I would like to reiterate. I think now it all depends on all of us coaches. How do we utilize this study? Because we are all face of ICF and independent coaches who, whenever we are working with our clients as credential coaches, we are all faces of ICF, right? So if we can use this study in the bestest possible way, it is going to bring more awareness at ground level. That's how I think, all of us can contribute and benefit from the study. Thank you, Linda. Over to you.
Excellent. Thank you. It's great to get the different regional perspectives.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Manvir. I really want to rebond on that as well, that as members, you have an access to a section that is called the members only section. When you go on the global website and when you sign in, if you click on your name, you're opening a section where you can, access your membership, your invoices, all the stuff that you need. But there are also some interesting sections, and one is called the Member Toolkit. And within the Member Toolkit, you also have access to flyers that are actually ready to use from the ICF on coaching, on credentialing, on the coaching and organization and standards. So these are the kind of material as well that you may want to use when going to clients. It's ready there. You can just have them printed. And we know that sometimes our members do not know about all these advantages. So please use that, maximize that. The more you will speak and the more you will be proud about being ICF members and credentialed members, the more your clients will get awareness around that as well and know why it's important to make that difference.
That's right, Isabel. And I think also, in 2020, we introduced the digital badges. The digital badge as for an ICF member and the digital badge for the credential members. And I think, again, using those on your email signature, using those on your LinkedIn profile, again, is a great marketing, and it's a great credibility tool, because we know from the study that being qualified, being a member of a professional organization, having a credential matters to consumers. So these are great evidence of that. So use your digital badges as well, wherever you can.
Thank you, Linda. Actually, we have a reaction as well from IFA, but IFA, we may need a bit of clarification, because you're right, proper training is very important to be within the requirements to get the credential. How do you know if this is taking place in so many different countries? Can you be a bit more specific about your question, please?
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you very much for this lovely presentation. My question actually is concerning the publications actually of people, or the production of people, coaches who are not really professional, because I have experienced here in my country, in Saudi Arabia, someone who has, like, for example, taking a coaching training for only a week or 2 weeks. And then after that, he or she becomes a coach, professional coach. And they are coaching people. And of course, a week or 2 weeks is not enough for a person to be very qualified, especially because this is really, frankly speaking, this is my experience with some people who are having only primary school or intermediate school. And then they wanted to develop themselves. I'm not really, against this. It's fine. If you want to develop yourself, it's fine. You can develop yourself the way you like, but you cannot practice a thing or something like that, because coaching is not only coaching, is you are changing the mindset. you are changing the path of a person instead of being, for example, a person who is not confident, okay, who doesn't have confidence, self-confidence, okay, then you are changing him or you are changing her to be a reliable person. If you are not qualified to be a good coach, I am, as a trainer, I don't have the eligibility to tell people that from now you are a coach. You can all practice coaching. This is what I mean. You know, so many countries are doing training in the countries, but they are not providing the good training skills. We need to have skills. We need to give the skills, the proper skills. As Linda said, proper training. So this is, I just, you know, recon on the word proper training. Proper training doesn't mean that a week or 2 weeks would give us a production of people with really, or a production of skillful people. This is what I mean, and sorry for taking that much time. I hope my point is really clear.
It is, Haifa, and it's something I've heard in the Middle East prior, as you said, people taking a weekend course and calling themselves a coach. I think what our study proves really is that the discerning client, and as coaching becomes more understood in any country, that the clients want the properly trained or the, you know, in-depth training from their coach. You know, we know that 85% of people who had a coach said, yes, the credential mattered and I got better results because they were credentialed and approved trained. So I think it's a matter of over time, if I hate to use the word, but the cowboys, you know, the people who just pop up and call themselves coaches, that will always be with us because people will be people and will try to do that. However, what we're seeing is that consumers, and this is what gives me so much hope, that consumers are getting wise and discerning and know what is a proper coach and what isn't. And I think the other thing we need to do, and we are doing in, excuse me, in ICF on coaching education, is that we are updating how we approve coach training. We're bringing in a new system of audit, and I think we should see great improvements as well in the quality of the training provided along the lines you're suggesting. But ultimately, consumers will be the ones who decide. And we need to work to make sure that they do have the information to pick an ICF coach.
Actually, Isabelle, we are investing for a couple of years already in lots of media partnerships. We also intend to react because what you're explaining is also happening in the media. You know, sometimes journalists do not exactly know what coaching is about. And you remember, Linda, we reacted to a very bad article that was published in Ireland a couple of years back, and we did the same in other countries. So all these articles where we reacted to this kind of attacks on what coaching and what coaching is not are actually published in this article section I mentioned you on the ICF events platform. So maybe there are some contents there already that you can use, reuse, or recycle for your social media, because I think we all have a responsibility in educating the clients and the markets to make sure that they know the difference between a coach. And to use actually one of the titles that ICF Germany chapter did use, it was one of their articles was Coach or Charlatan. And it was one of the most read articles because they were really speaking about exactly what this was and what the difference is between a good coach and another. So maybe it's a great opportunity for you as well to have a look at what exists and what you can recycle or eventually translate for your local languages in your countries. But we all have a responsibility in educating our own markets. And the more we will communicate around that, the more impact we'll have.
Thanks, Isabel. And I think it's fair to say that if, we know someone to be an ICF member and they are behaving unethically, Haifa referred to unethical behavior there, but if they are an ICF member, that can be reported to the independent review body at ICF HQ, and they will investigate. And again, it is a duty on all of us that if somebody is bringing our profession into disrepute in whatever way, or we feel that they are putting clients at risk, the credibility of the profession at risk, we can report those to the independent review body, IRB, at ICF HQ, and they will investigate that, and they take it very, very seriously.
Linda, I think we have a very last question before we close this session from Nengshun. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. It mentions it's very true that coaching is not expensive at all when I constantly see my potential clients invest their money in luxury vacations and so on. So I'm curious, what effective strategies can we use to convey the value of coaching?
Yeah, great question. I'd love to know what others in the room suggest.
Anyone willing to react?
Invite others to type in what they would advise. But my view is, talking to your client, what is it that would make a big difference in your life? What is it that you feel is missing? What is it you want more of? What is it that would really add value to your life? So the more we can ask those kind of coaching questions, and that the person can articulate what they can get from coaching that is going to really change their experience, satisfaction, and outcomes in life, and then say, and what value would you put on that? It's actually working with them to identify that value. And then, what is that compared to a Rolex watch or a Jaguar car? If I can have a better relationship with my children, if I can live my purpose, if I can find my dream career, if I can, find and sustain a happy relationship, these are the things that people are seeking, that I find my clients are looking for. And what value can you put on that? So it's helping them express their needs and then put a value on it.
Thank you, Linda. We also have the suggestion from Vari. She says, oh, such a good question. I always share my own story of coaching on socials to give a great example of how much value it's got to me. I also ask potential client what hasn't worked and then explain why coaching is different. And wow. Jumana is also adding that it might help to share the experience of the people who've been coached and show the shift in their lives. So yeah, testimonials from your clients and storytelling. I think we already had some people and keynote speakers speaking about the importance of storytelling, telling the stories to your clients, your own stories, but also, getting testimonials from your own. And I think we have come to the top of the hour. So I really want to thank you so much, Linda, for your presentation, and also extend my special thanks to you, Member, also director on the Professional Coaches Board, for being with us today. It was really a pleasure and honor. And really thank you for all of you from Australia, from Asia, from the Middle East, from Europe. It's been a wonderful and diverse audience today. So thank you so much for attending this pre-launch series powered by the ICF Professional Coaches team. We hope to see you back again next week for ICW starting on Monday, the 16th of May.
Thank you all. See you soon. Thanks, Isabel. Thanks, Manveer.